I don't think she's safe. I think they can still turn her. Her specifically.
Like, these guys are better vegans than the vegans.
She feels like she has got the thing.
The smoking gun.
Smoking gun.
She's
right?
got it.
She's got it.
This is gonna change it all. We're gonna fix everything.
Oh. Today, Mark and I are talking about the thrilling science fiction TV show Pluribus, Episode 6, HDP.
So spoilers are ahead.
We're talking about the discovery that Carol finally made about what's underneath of the tarp,
Analyzing Mr. Diabate's wild fantasies,
the interesting relationship between Koumba and Carol,
and we are catching back up with Manousos and his new journey.
And last week, we asked for help getting to 1,000 subscribers, which we didn't expect to have happen in 1 week. Thank you so much for everybody that subscribed, that not just got us to the goal, but blew past it. We really appreciate it. And a special extra thank you to our very first channel member, ZephyrCat7, for your support so we can continue doing this.
So let's get into the episode.
Let's jump right into the beginning, which was interesting because it was like immediately after the end of the last episode. Like it ran from that episode straight into this episode, and we get the reveal. Carol gets the reveal. What are your thoughts?
Well, I disagree that it was right after, because
Okay.
we saw her come out. We saw her kind of deal with what she saw. And I loved this technique because you expect the episode to pick up like right in that moment. She does the huff. You see the answer. And I loved how we actually got the answer of what it was. Because first she comes out. We see she is completely disturbed. She is freaking out. And then when we go back in to see it, we don't see it from like a regular camera perspective, but we see it from a found footage perspective. And the found footage genre of horror movies, I feel, builds this extra sense of tension. And I think that like we all kind of assumed we knew what it was, but like not getting that confirmed right away and like watching Carol's fears, disgust, coming to the realization with the camcorder, which she's been using this whole show. I thought it was very well done. Great reveal.
Yes, you're right. So there was just enough that was cut out that they were able to delay that gratification of what it is. And it was very smart the way that they revealed it, because it like keeps stretching out that tension just a little bit longer. You know, the fact that the parts are like broken down, the fact that they are wrapped means that like even when she opens up the tarp, it's still not immediately obvious. Even when she grabs one of those parts and holds it to the camera, it's still not immediately obvious. It's not until she rotates it the right way and you get that like silhouette that you finally see that's what it is. And it was brilliantly set up to just like maximize that time and tension before you got to that gratification.
Yeah, I loved the buildup. Like I felt like, because I was like, I feel like we know what it is, but like still taking that time to get there just built an extra layer of tension that was like, all right, this is, again, great filmmaking.
Absolutely. And I think that seeing the quantity of food that is in that place, and the fact that they've left it, the others have left it, that plus what we learn kind of later in the episode, I think for me, and I'll get into this a little bit more, is like really starting to like nail down this aspect of when they say we need space, it is that word need. Like, I think it is potentially for their safety. This isn't a like, we're upset with you situation and we just need, you know, emotionally, we need a little time apart. I think that like more and more we're seeing we need that space.
Yeah, because I mean, Carol has done a lot of terrible things with her anger outbursts, and she kind of treats them terribly. Like she's kind of mean to them. And we'll definitely get into this a lot more in this episode, but I am still thinking that she is a good person to follow. But after this episode, she's pretty mean for no reason. Anyway.
Definitely. And I love the moment, like right before she before she drives to see Mr. Diabate, I love the fact that like there's this long hold on the door after she leaves, and it's kind of like an awkwardly long hold, you know, and so you're like, why is the camera sticking there? And when you see why, I love how funny and like disturbing it is, you know, when she realized, she's like, oh, I left this powder on the floor. Oh, that's
people.
Just like marinating in the carpet. Like, even though she feels like she has to like deal with this right now, like she has to like talk to a real human, and she doesn't trust the others to like take her thing and not learn what she knows.
Right.
So she wants to go directly to them. But even though all of this stuff is like so important, she's like, I got to vacuum this real quick. Like I can't.
I loved like how it changed too, because like in the previous episodes, you know, she's touching it, she's feeling it, she's, you know, touching the gooey stuff, and it's like, you know, she's really getting into it. And then as she's vacuuming these people up, she puts on all this PPE. Like she's got gloves, she's got a mask, she's got a face shield. Like she's like, I do not want any people on me. No, thank you.
Oh, I didn't notice all the PPE. That takes it like a step further. Like just
she's so grossed out.
That she,
Before she's fine. She's playing with it. It's gooey. That means something. PPE. Got to do this now. Got to take care of this. One other little thing I noticed, and I could be wrong, when she first comes into the house to like get the thing to like send off the video, the bubble mailer, there was a plant next to her. And tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, if you guys think this is true or not. The plant looked dead. And part of me was wondering if Helen was the one that was always watering the plants at her house.
Oh, yeah.
And that like now Helen's gone. Like in a way, like Carol is kind of mean and bitter. Like she doesn't have like that empathy to like take care of a house plant. And so like if it was dead, showing a piece of Carol's character of like she can't even keep plants alive in this time span.
I could definitely see that, because Carol seems like the kind of person that very possibly often doesn't even realize how badly she rubs people the wrong way, because she is just like so engrossed in herself and her thoughts that like she doesn't even consider how she impacts other people. You know, we've seen it in previous episodes. We saw it a few times in this episode where she just like gut reacts, and it's not unless she sees a reaction that's not what she expected, that she's like, oh, that didn't go down the way I expected it to. You have a different opinion than me. Like,
totally. She has like this view of herself that maybe she's always right. Like even when, you know, when she was talking to Mr. Diabate about how they get together, and she was like, oh, I'm a writer. I can come up with robots all day. It's like, well, you're a fiction writer, so you can come with fiction. Can you actually like solve problems? But like she is so engrossed in herself. She's like, I could solve this problem easily. I'm a writer.
Right. Right. Definitely a little full of herself to be like, oh yeah, no, this is absolutely my wheelhouse. Now it is, but I think that she doesn't consider other people's perspectives very much. So let's get into this next section, because I thought this was really interesting as we see the lifestyle that Koumba Diabaté is living in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts here?
Man, so many different thoughts. I think a very interesting aspect of the beginning of the scene, it looked a little outdated. Like this could have been a flashback. Everybody in the scene was acting like normal people, which we haven't seen in 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was this like hint that it could be a flashback, could not be a flashback, but there was no timer. So the timer was like the key. Like it didn't show like, oh, 1970s, but everything looks a little dated. I don't know how I feel about the fantasy as a whole, right? On one hand, it's like, it could be fun to do whatever you want, but like at the end of the day, you're just kind of playing pretend, and like how long can that keep you entertained and find fulfillment out of that?
Yeah, is he doing this every day, living out his fantasies? Does he choose a different fantasy every day to live out? This seemed like it was potentially kind of James Bond inspired.
Yeah.
Like, especially the guy with the eye patch seemed like he could be like a Bond villain.
Right.
Next week, is he picking like the Thomas Crown affair and he's going to try and break into a museum? The lengths that they have to go to live out his dream, you know, like you mentioned, it seemed like a scene from the world we knew before. There was so much conversation going on that was like out of his earshot, but obviously is like adding to that sound of a big party.
There were people kissing.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't think they were drinking.
They at least looked like they were drinking is what I mean.
But they all of the drinks that were being drunk by people that were not changed were all that color of that milk. I don't know if you saw that or not. So
no,
maybe just
they
were just drinking their food right there and pretending to drink to be able to give Mr. Diabate his fantasy.
It's weird and ick, and I don't like it, especially when, you know, we'll get a little bit more into it, but like what we learn coming soon makes this seem even more sinister that he's, and not sinister because he doesn't have evil intentions, so it's not sinister, but it seems cruel, you know, it seems careless to like have them do all of this when they're at a calorie deficit that is going to cause the majority of them to die within 10 years. That's wild. And you're just like having them do all sorts of dumb things for like your personal gain. Like, I know that they didn't need an actual card handler because now everybody is a card handler, but like a card handler had to like deal out the like perfect, you know, hand so that it could look like the, you know, eye patch was going to win. But in the end, Mr. Diabate had an even better hand. And like,
yeah.
And then, you know, he gets like the hot tub with the girls, and it's like, yeah, they want to make you happy, and like it kind of is their choice to do it, but also they're only doing it because they want to make you happy. So they kind of don't have like, it's kind of a compulsion of theirs. So
right.
It feels like you're taking advantage of that compulsion. It's just, ugh.
With like the whole like him with the women, right? Like I feel like they're always going to tell him he's right. They're always like,
yes.
There's never going to be that disagreement. And so like, I feel like there is either down the line consequences of him being told yes all the time, where like who he becomes as a person might become like, I do think overall Mr. Diabate is a good, genuine person. Yeah, he's indulging in maybe some questionable things, but yet they're willing to. They want to make him happy. So is it really his fault? But I think overall, like, he does seem like he does care about the joined. Like, in a weird way, he has a love for them. At least, like, if you compare how Carol has reacted to them
right.
and how Mr. Diabate acts to them, and even how he like kind of stands up for them to Carol. Like, to me, he does have a sense of like kind of care the best that you can. But like, if he's being told yes all the time, he's never wrong. I could see that happening. If you're like getting all of your wants and demands, like you get bored of it, you want to go deeper. I don't know.
It's just, like it feels like it is, he takes it too far. So I do agree with you that I do think he does have some care for them. You know, he did speak out for them. He did have the self-awareness and the smarts to ask the question before Carol could find out about the food situation. Like, he got to the root of that. But then like some of the things are just like so laissez-faire. Like the fact that he's having them run all of Las Vegas for him, all of like the lights, the signboards, everything like that, like the waste of energy just to do that. This like crazy lifestyle where he has his picture and posters in a bunch of places. Like, they had to do professional photo shoots, you know, in different locations with different outfits. And then somebody had to get on like a big crane or I don't know, something in order to like get that poster on the side of the building. Like, just to fuel his ego. And like, once again, like, these people are going into a calorie deficit and doing something strenuous like that, or just like so totally unnecessary, it's it's thoughtless and kind of abusive a little bit. So I don't know exactly how I feel about him.
I think overall I do like him, but he does have all those pictures of himself. And that to me was like, all right, man, like that's a little egotistical. Like, why are you having these pictures of yourself in your room? Like the join don't care about looking at those pictures. Like clearly that's a you thing. You just like looking at yourself. So
yeah.
But I feel like there were so many great moments with him and Carol that really made me feel like he is kind and good. But yet, I mean, like, it's the beginning of this. They have basically said that, like, we want to make you happy. And he's just like, well, I can kind of do whatever I want. Like, maybe he'll get bored of it. But he's just like, in this moment, I'll just have a few fun moments, do some fun things, just have a couple fun experiences. But he also doesn't want to join them, meaning it does feel like he kind of wants this to keep going. Yeah.
And it's, it was really interesting seeing when he left the party. It really showed that like juxtaposition between this front that they're putting on to make him happy versus like how they really are. And it kind of reminded me of like people in the service industry. All the airs that they were putting on just like instantly dropped. They start taking off the stuff that they don't need. They start cleaning up. Not that they're unhappy, because I think they are fulfilled by the tasks that they do. So I do think they're happy, but I don't think that they're necessarily in that moment experiencing joy. So like the huge smiles that they had for him winning just disappear. And it was instant the moment that he was gone. And it was just kind of interesting seeing that juxtaposition.
But also interesting, the guy he was playing against that was supposed to be this like evil, bad guy, he starts clapping for him. Like he's excited for him. So like there is this weird, like, I want to like show you I'm excited for you. And like, maybe that's part of the, making him happy kind of thing. It's like, I want to show you like, I care about you. But then as soon as he's gone, it's like out of sight, out of mind. I don't need to make him happy anymore. I gotta do this job.
Yeah. So let's dig into when Carol gets there and, Koumba and Carol, because this is very interesting, this dynamic. She's been away from the others, and this is the first time back. She feels like she has got the thing.
The smoking gun.
Smoking gun.
She's got it.
She's got it.
This is going to change it all. We're going to fix everything.
Oh.
And he already knew everything.
And that's so, I'm curious how some people are going to feel about this, because, that there were obviously some people didn't know that there were, people under the tarps. There were some people that knew that there were people under the tarps, and they were okay with that. They were excited that they thought I was possibly right. There were some people that were disappointed because they felt like this has been done. The Soylent Green thing has been done so many times, and they were worried that he was just going to do like a tired trope. And for me, it felt not tired because of a few things. Like, that there were like additional twists on top of the twist. Like the fact that part of the twist or the surprise was like, it wasn't a surprise to Mr. Diabate. So instead of being this whole like big shocking thing, it's like, no, they've got a good explanation. Like give them a moment. And then there's that second layer that we end up learning about like the calorie deficit and like what that's going to do. And it's like, holy crap, that's wild.
Well, yeah. And even so, like, not like to your point, it's like there is this moment where, Soylent Green is people. That's like the big like twist. You're like, oh my God, that's awful. And then you kind of get a different twist. Like we have great John Cena. I love that we had John Cena. So good. That was one of my favorite parts, just to see John Cena trying to explain this thing. One, he's such a lovable guy. He's so like kind and charismatic. Record for the most Make-A-Wish wish fulfillment. Fun fact. And he's just like calmly explaining like, we can't kill food. We can't even pick an apple off a tree. Like these guys are better vegans than the vegans, right? Like this is one thing I've always thought about, is that plants are alive. Nobody cares about eating plants. cows are alive. You take milk from a cow, then vegans get upset. No shade to vegans. I've done vegan for a little bit. It's no shade. If that's your preference, no problem. But I've always questioned, like, how can you say you don't want to take anything from life, but then you take things from plants, which are just as alive as animals, and that's okay. And I think that showing the join being like, we can't even do that. We can't even have an apple, can't have a pear, wheat, rice, can't do it.
Yeah, and it was great to have Cena for the reasons that you mentioned, but also because, like, you know, a lot of the things in this show have been like, you have to learn them the hard way by like seeing it for yourself and figuring out what they're trying to explain to you by showing you these visuals. And it is nice when there's like a complex topic like this for it to be very clearly laid out. And in this case, it's very clearly laid out, and there's a good in-world reason that they're like making this video for Carol, you know, and they're having somebody that like hopefully she'll kind of like resonate with. Love that. Loved him. It's wild what we've learned, right? You know, like this, I think this really changes things. This, like, the fact that the others are potentially the ones in danger.
Yeah. Like we talked about that their whole idea would be to procreate and continue spreading this virus or alien virus, whatever you want to call it. And to find out that it's like, well, now they've got this. Like, imagine if no people turn and like they couldn't even have like them go grab food for them or something like that. Like, what would have happened? Like, this seems like a faulty virus where it's like you infect a planet. It has resources. You can't ingest any of those resources. Like, what? Like, that seems so weird to me. It's like you can't interfere with life so much that you can't even eat. Like, how is that a successful strategy? Right? Like, if you're trying to procreate and keep going, how does that make it okay to like continue this? Like, this seems like a failed virus to me.
If it can survive long enough to get them to set up satellites to target other planets, and it can get to other planets, then it will continue to be successful. You know, just like viruses in real life will sometimes kill their hosts. As long as, you know, as long as like killing the host isn't so rapid and the method of spreading is too hard that it can't like continue to spread.
Right.
Because like there's even some things like, you know, Ebola virus that have like kill 90% of the people that they come into contact with. So like it can kill its host as long as it can spread before it's completely done killing all of its hosts.
Right. I mean, it does feel like a weird strategy, like become all of the people and then not being able to consume any of the food unless the food already existed, which could get by for a long time, but like pretty soon you're going to have to eat something, and you can't eat an apple unless it falls. So
right.
It seems a little backwards to me for this group.
It was interesting because it also, you know, I don't think that the term windfall has had like real relevance in the world for some time, you know, with like mechanization and, you know, all the things that we've learned. People don't depend on that. And that's been a word that now means, you know, like you come into a bunch of money or something like that. But like, this is the original basis of it, is like an actual, like the wind actually bringing down crops. And it was interesting seeing such an old word come back to like its original use.
Yeah. But with this ability of them not being able to eat these fruits, it does also kind of endear me a little bit more towards the join. Like,
yes,
they're so staunch believers in caring for life, not being able to interact with life, that they are willing to starve than like picking an apple off a tree, which is just crazy to me. But also it's like, maybe these are just like really altruistic beings now.
Right. And that those desires are so strong that it can overcome, you know, such like base kind of like the lizard part of your brain, you know, like we saw with Manousos has like very strong ethics, and so he didn't want to break into the storage units, and so he was like licking the can of the stuff that he brought before he finally resorted to that. But he still is a human and finally resorted to what he thought was like unethical.
Right.
And these like it's strong enough of a force to like overcome even hunger, which is just hard to wrap your brain around.
Right. 100%.
There was something that I thought was really kind of sad was when Carol learned twice how much people dislike her. So she learned it the first time that they're having meetings without her. Like, can you imagine being one of 13 normal people left in the world and not getting the Zoom invite to go? Like, they're even reaching out to the one person who is refusing to meet up with them, but they're still at least like trying, and they're not with Carol. And Mr. Diabate, he is warm. He doesn't want to hurt her feelings. And so he tries to make it seem like, look, it wasn't across the board. So like, obviously some people wanted to have Carol there.
Probably
but then
him.
I don't think it was him, because I think she learned that like, even he doesn't want her there. He's like, what are your plans? And she's like, I'm going to grab a sweet. I'm going to clean up, and then we can regroup. And without him saying it, just seeing his face, she realized like, you're being very nice, but you don't want to spend any time with me.
So, okay. First, when I first watched that, I thought Carol was being funny, and she had done that, and she like knew that she was leaving. The second time I watched it,
when I saw her forehead,
yeah, I realized that she realized that she was not. And honestly, this whole thing about Carol being out from the group, I feel this is even more rock bottom than Carol has been in so far. I feel like this is the first time we've seen her cry from not grief or frustration, but crying from genuine hurt. That like, there's a secret club of all the people remaining, and not a secret club, but there's a club of all the people remaining, and Carol's not invited. And that's gotta be painful. Like, you're so on the outskirts. And so like, this is why I also think Mr. Diabate is a good person. Speaking to the others, or the joined, he says, she is lonely. He feels bad for her. He makes her breakfast. He tells her that he enjoys her company, their time there, even if he didn't mean it. Like, overall, I think he does have these really like kind gestures.
Dawn had a really good theory on, when you mentioned him saying that she's lonely, she said it sounded like a request that they turned down, because then he said, I understand. I took that a step further. I think that he asked if they would come back to her because she's lonely.
Yeah.
And they probably said that they can't, because then when he's at the police car, and he says, like, they need you to have a change of heart.
They want to come back.
It sounds like they had that conversation. And I think based off what Dawn said, like, he requested that. And they're like, we can't. She needs to have a change of heart first.
Is Mr. Diabate the catalyst to get Carol back with the group?
No. I think they are worried for their personal safety.
Well, and also, Carol is not having a change of heart. She literally says, fuck them.
Watch your feet.
Watch your feet.
Why do you think you're so unlikable? Like,
yeah, seriously. Carol, Mr. Diabate knows that you are a pain in the ass. He literally made you breakfast. He covered you up when you were sleeping on the couch. He was like...
took your drink away so you didn't spill it on yourself. Yeah.
Defending you to the joined, defending the joined to you, like doing all these like pretty nice things. And the last thing you say is, watch your toes, fuck them, and just zips out. Like, Carol, get it together.
Oh, man. Yeah. One more big thing that is kind of revealed in this, which is that they need stem cells and they need her permission in order to or they need permission to get stem cells from the thigh. And I think that this like is to make people feel like, okay, they're good. They're safe. I don't think she's safe. I think they can still turn her. Her specifically. I don't think, maybe not the others, but I think they can still turn her specifically.
Because of the eggs?
Because of the eggs, yes. Now, I don't know this for a fact. I'm not a scientist, but I believe that while an egg isn't technically the stem cell, that I think using some scientific process that they're able to like trick it into thinking it's fertilized and it will begin to divide, and that stem cells will be like one of the types of cells that will form. And I the great thing is like, we've talked about the fact that like they lie by omission, right?
Right.
And I think that there was a great scene that kind of showed that like you have to ask the right questions because they can mislead the hell out of you. And that was when she was like, I thought that they were vegetarians. And he's like, no, they said they would prefer to be vegetarians. And she's like, oh, of course, they have all the lawyers there. So the two questions that she asked them, they were honest about. Do you need stem cells in order to like turn me? And do you need my permission to collect stem cells? And I think both of these are true. I think the third question she didn't know that she needed to ask is like, can you create stem cells without collecting them, and so you don't need to collect them?
Yeah, but she did say the second phone call, she's like, I don't consent, don't change me, I don't want this.
I don't know, I don't consent, do not touch me. Something like don't put your hands on me. They're like, sure, we're going to put our hands, all the lawyers are like, looking at all the lines, and they're like, okay, technically we can say yes to this. We will not put our hands on you.
As long as we
will
don't
put our hands on these eggs.
Well, we won't even put our hands on the eggs. We're going to use syringes.
We're going to use gloves and syringes.
And gloves and swabs.
Yes.
Whew. So, okay.
That's what happens when you have the world's, every lawyer in the world.
Right. Yeah. Huh. I do wonder, I feel like will come back eventually, but it does.
Yes.
I mean, and they do have a reason to change Carol the most, if you think about it, because I mean, she's the biggest threat to them.
Yes.
Like Mr. Diabate, he's not going to hurt them if they don't change him. Probably Lakshmi, all these other people, they're not going to hurt them if they don't change him because they've already shown compassion towards them. But yet Carol is actively trying to undo them, trying to change them, trying to stop them. They have the most reason to change her.
I think that they would just do it because of like their biological imperative, because they're clearly fine with letting themselves die if it doesn't. So I don't think that like their personal safety is as big a thing. Like if they're worried about her, they've left. They're not going to, take an aggressive step because of their safety. The reason they want to turn her, and it's the same reason they want to turn everybody, is like the biological imperative, but they can't do that if it causes you harm, I guess. Like there's that like little bit of a line right that's preventing all of the others. I wonder if this means that like they can figure out how to do it soon. Are we going to go down to 12 survivors soon? Because there was the one young woman who's like, I want to be with my aunt and my cousin.
I mean, yeah, if they're willing to go through that invasive procedure, I could see Lakshmi even wanting to be with her son. And yeah. Mr. Diabate does feel like a person that wouldn't want to give into it because he hasn't seemed to have like a family. He's enjoying the spoils of what it is to live with the joined, where all these other people had family. And so I could see them all wanting to join their family. Like there's a mom and dad, or a wife and husband, the mom, Lakshmi, the daughter, father. Like I could see there being a reason for them to all change. And then it could just be Mr. Diabate, Carol, and Manousos are like the last living people working with the joined.
I could definitely start seeing like the numbers dropping bit by bit, and so it's like, oh, there's very few left, because I do still think that's a little bit of a tough decision to make. And so I think that some of them are going to hold out for a little bit. I think that one young woman is going to like, she's the moment that it's available. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if she's like, look, if you want to test, you can test on me,
Yeah.
I'll be your guinea pig.
I also do wonder, like, so they told Mr. Diabate about how they found out about it and that they're very upset about it. And this is the only way. But I could also see them continuing work, trying to solve this issue and finding other ways that are less invasive where they don't need permission. And it might take a while. It might not be as quick as, 2 weeks that we've been through. It could be a year, but like there could be like in another season where they have come up with this way where we did figure out a way to change all of you without being invasive. We're going to take Mr. Diabate's choice away from him. I could see that.
And I think if they have like all of the world's scientists, which they do, scientists, when they hit something like this, they don't just like instantly give up and like, oh, well, there's no other way. They'll look for another way. They're still going to keep working on it, especially if it is a biological imperative. The funny and weird thing is like at this point, turning additional people seems stupid. Like you shouldn't be adding to like the group that you can't maintain. I mean, you could ask I know that it would be a drop in the water if these like 12 people farmed for you, but like they can do something, Right. So turning them seems almost kind of like antithetical. But if it is a biological imperative, like it doesn't matter if they like logically can understand that that's probably not the smartest thing. Like they just are still compelled to do it. There are two last things that I wanted to like comment on, like Diabate in this kind of section. The first being, when he cooked, it reminded me of when I went to Paris. He said, et voila, when he gave her the food. And as somebody who was a magician for quite some time when I was younger, I think of voila as like this fancy thing of like, and here it is, and it's just like this big stage thing, and it's like this big production.
But it's
just
so
funny, a big reveal. But it's funny how like common in French, like it's just like saying like, here it is,
there you go.
They just like, they give you, your soup and it's like, voila, they give you the check and it's like, voila, everything that they like give to you. And it's just interesting having seen the other side of that, of like, it's no big thing. But like, I remember before that, I was like, it was this big magical thing. And then the other thing is his cars are ridiculous. I don't understand why he has 7 Lamborghinis. Like, why wouldn't he want 7 different cars?
Like a McLaren?
It's just like different paint jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a little silly too. Also, why have a license plate that has the day of the week on each of them? You can just tell that to yourself. Like, you could have funny license plates, and yet you just went with the days of the week so you don't forget.
You know what? It's not so you forget. I think the weird thing is the fact that it's like a status of symbol that only he understands, because like the rest of the world has changed and they don't care. I think that's the biggest flex, is if you have a Lamborghini that says Tuesday, to a certain extent, that says like you have 6 other badass cars. Maybe they're not all Lamborghinis, but you have like 6 other amazing cars. And that's just like the biggest flex that you can do, of saying, this is just my Tuesday car. I don't drive this on any other days.
But also, where are you driving?
And also, who does it matter to? There's nobody else that sees it that cares.
Yeah, it's literally for you. But like, also, where are you driving? Like, I could understand like driving for a little bit. Like, imagine you can go as fast as you want. You can drive down all the streets, but like, it's going to get old. Like, you're not doing it with people. You're just going by yourself. Right. Like, what is more
the point? Often than not, he's probably getting chauffeured around so that he can like drink as he gets chauffeured. So he probably isn't even really using those cars.
Such a waste, Mr. Diabate.
That's what I feel. He's like you point out, he is definitely not a bad but like, I don't know. There's some things that are very wasteful, and I dislike about him. I mean, obviously he's got a warm, likable personality. I like his like personality, his smile. It does feel like he's abusing them to a certain, like, abusing the system.
Yes, that's a good point.
You know, and some things, like knowing what you know about them now, it does kind of feel like I would feel bad asking them for anything. I'd be like, look, can you like hibernate? Can you go into low power mode and just like, when I need something, have a different person come so it doesn't take out too many calories from one person? Like, I would feel really bad about asking for, especially the types of things that like he's asking for.
Yeah. And I do think that like maybe there's a perspective shift, right? It's like, this was something that was already happening. So many rich people were wasting energy and doing that. And he's like, I'm one person that's taking, sure, Las Vegas, all the lights are on. Maybe not every casino, maybe just the casino he's in or whatever, but the outside lights might be on just to give him the sense that there's people there. But like, okay, so Las Vegas is on. Every other city is turned off. Like, am I really creating that much waste? Like, to us, yeah, it does seem very wasteful, one person doing it at all. But
yes,
I could
a whole city for one person is just.
But I could rationalize that, like, yeah, but now all other cities are off. So, like, one city for one person, yeah, it's not.
But couldn't he scale it back? Couldn't he get something similar from like Reno or something like that? I don't know. I haven't actually been there, but like,
look, he totally could. He could do that. But I think he could,
the scaled down version of that, where it's just like, it gives him a little bit of the feeling, but is like a little bit more responsible.
I get it, but I could see how he could rationalize and be like, look, every other city's turned off. LA, New York, Chicago, those cities are all off. I could enjoy Las Vegas to myself and this handful of joined and have a good time. Right. So I could see him rationalizing that, but also like, come on, man. Don't be abusing the system.
Yeah. Right. Let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum. And let's look at Manousos.
I love this. I love Manousos. I think Manousos is my favorite. Okay. We've gotten so little of him, but I feel like I know so much about him. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier, he's got an ethical code that he believes breaking into people's containers is wrong. I think that we were shown a little bit that he has a terrible relationship with his mother, but a great relationship with his father. At least that was my interpretation from that picture on the wall. It was out of focus and it looked like a little kid and his father, and it looked dated. So it made me think that was him and his dad. And it seemed like a good moment. And he has this terrible relationship with his mom. He's breaking out, like he's coming out of his shell because he's got this renewed hope from Carol. Like, a lot of cool information about him. Really like Manousos.
It does kind of make me wonder, having learned his terrible relationship with his mom, it kind of makes me wonder again, like, what makes you you? Is it the accumulation of your memories? If you were to upload your memories, and then download them into a different body, would that be you? In this case, we have somebody who is in the same physical body, has all of the same memories. They've gained a ton more memories, but they are not the person that he remembered, and not because of like time or something like that. Like it happened all of a sudden. And is that still the same? I mean, obviously, technically it's the same like body of that person. So it's technically the same person, but it kind of reminded me, there's a really weird case from the 19th century of Phineas Gage, who worked on a railroad and had a rod go through his head, through his brain. And it changed him from like this like affable person. He survived, but his personality completely changed, and it ended up teaching scientists a lot about like how the brain works, that that like losing a portion of your brain could completely change who you are. And it just like, is that still Phineas? Like, obviously, technically that is his body, but did the people around him really think that after he became this like really fitful, profane, angry person who was like completely different from who he was before? Is like, is this still Manousos' mom, or is it not? Like, who are you?
That's a great question about like amnesia. If you have amnesia, you don't remember who you are. Are you that same person? Like, everybody around you can tell you,
right?
But you don't have the memories. You don't know who you are, what you like. You might have some motor skills, but you don't have the like knowledge to back up like who you care about, or even like Alzheimer's, terrible disease where you start forgetting people. Like people remember you, but you can't remember people, and it's crazy. But to answer your question,
yes,
I don't believe Manousos thinks that's his mom anymore, and I feel like this has given it such as this like beautiful reason of why he is so distrustful of the joined, right? Like because it's his mom that's been bringing him the food, right? That's who's been dropping off the food. It looks like that's who it is.
I didn't put two and two together, but now you saying that, I do think that's who we saw. I think you're right.
If you knew that your mom is like the meanest person ever, like this is the first time we've seen a joined person that has been known to be a terrible person before joining. And that's what makes me feel like Manousos has this like distrust for them. He's like, I know this person is awful, terrible, evil person.
Right.
And yet you're showing that this person is now kind. That's a trap. I don't care what you say. That is a trap. I'm not going into that.
Yeah. And I wonder if like that was what made it clear for him, was when he saw her, and because he's not really like communicating with them, you know, it's possible that he sees this as like supernatural. And so it's like, you know, she has the devil in her. There's like something that is, you know, that has taken her over and made her different from who she was. And it doesn't matter that she's being nice, because that's not the person I know. And I do not trust that. And everybody's like that. I don't trust any of them.
Yeah. Which is the way they like introduced her in such an ominous way. Like, even though she's being kind, she's in the dark, you know, you see a silhouette of her figure as Manousos is confronted, and like probably the first time he's talked to them ever, you know, she even says like, you probably are hungry, confused. You probably have a lot of questions. Like, I'm happy to answer these questions. Like, how can we help you? And like, he's just like, no. Like, my mom is awful. You are not her. Right. Like, it's just, so good.
That framing kind of shows that like she is a villain to him, you know? And then you see the face, and you see like, you recognize, oh, she's been giving the food and she's smiling. She's like so nice, you know, but he's like, no.
She waves every time.
Yeah.
She's very kind. It's like, how could he be so distrustful of this woman? And yet he knows, he grew up with her, the tortures that he probably went through with her. And he's like, nah, you can't get me. My mom is awful. Hops in the car, out.
It really goes into like this storytelling that Vince Gilligan does that's like very slow and deliberate. Like we talked in the beginning about how he slowed down the reveal of what's under the tarp, you know, and here slowed down the reveal of, you know, it's Manousos' mom. And like Manousos has been a super slow burn, right? Like this is like, where is his storyline been going? He was introduced over the phone at first for a very brief period of time. And then we saw him for, you know, a little bit at the beginning of the episode, and then not much. And now we're getting him. And it's like the tension is building as far as what will his role be? Will he be somebody that helps Carol, that doesn't? Like, is he a possible antagonist? Is he, especially now that we're starting to feel bad for the others because of what they're going through, it does kind of make you wonder the role he's playing. I'm kind of the side that like he's going to be the one person that will help Carol.
Exactly. That's what I think.
I could easily see it going either way.
Well, look at this episode. This looked like an episode where Carol hit rock bottom. She comes to the realization that nobody wants to be around her. Even
in the world. Nobody in the world.
Even the non-English speakers are hurt by her because they didn't invite her. And so the fact that like she's been like screaming into the air, like, hey, or screaming into the wind, hey, guys, we could change this. We could fix this. They're eating people. Like, come on, guys, we got to figure this out. And yet it's not resonated with one single person. And then Manousos, who has locked himself in his, which I thought was his house, that he just lived on property, but it seems like that is his work, and he went to like his house
office.
later.
Yeah, I thought it was like the office of the storage company.
Well, so I thought, because I saw the TV and like he was eating some food, you know, like he had a trash can. It made me feel like he was living there, and that's why he felt comfortable boarding it up there. But now it makes more sense, like why he's been starving. He's not near food. He's in the office.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed that it was like, you know, how some offices have like a work fridge and it's small and it's got like what you brought for lunch. And maybe if you forgot something, you know, then there's like 2 days worth of food, you know, but and maybe if it's one of those offices that like stocks up a few things so you can like have some snacks, that it's like, that's kind of the limit, which that could help explain how he got to like 9 days. Maybe there was like a little bit, but not really much.
Right. But then he gets that he hears that Carol says there's a way to change him back. They can't lie. And all of a sudden, Manousos, who has barricaded himself in this bastion of his office to keep away from those others, he ventures out. He goes home. He gets his stuff. He has a plan. He's driving to Albuquerque, is what it looks like to me. Yeah. And I'm excited to see where it goes for him.
I'm very excited. There's two last little things that I've got that I loved in this. One of them is something that fewer and fewer people are going to understand, including Dawn didn't understand what was going on. Push starting a car. I love manual cars. I've had many manual cars in my life. I absolutely love a stick. They're becoming more and more rare. And so I wonder, you know, obviously I'm not saying like nobody knows, but I'm sure there's a good chunk of people that have no clue what he was doing, that is like a valid way to jumpstart a manual car if you don't have somebody that can like push it, which obviously if you don't know about one, you won't know about the other. Right. So I love that. I love my sticks.
I also loved how he was like positioned at the top of the hill so that like whenever he was taking it out, he probably hopped in it, which it does feel like he doesn't drive that often. Right. Because he can walk to work, it seems. It's not very far. Mm-hmm. And when he pulled off the tarp, it was very dusty. So that's also probably another reason why it needed a little extra like that push to start. But he's at the top of the hill. So if he ever needs to drive it, he can just roll it down the hill to get it going, which I love that.
And then I loved the song at the end. It sounded like maybe like a French version of People Are Strange.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
You do you know the song People Are Strange?
Yeah, People Are Strange. Yeah.
Yes. I recognize the tune, but I didn't know the lyrics because it was in a foreign language. Maybe it was Spanish. I don't know what the language was. But to me, it was... Maybe it was for Manousos because it was like when it ended on Manousos, but it felt a little bit more appropriate for like Carol, because to me, it has to do with like perspective shift of like what it's like for an outsider to look in and see these people who look strange, but then the people on the inside that are like looking at the outsider, not necessarily trusting them and also thinking that they're kind of strange, which then like feeds into this cycle of like not trusting each other and thinking that each side is strange. And that kind of is like Carol's relationship where she's created this buffer between herself and the others. that is like self-inflicted. I mean, it's good. I think she is going to be the person that will save the world. So she's definitely taking the right steps. I do think she can be a very nasty person at times.
I feel after this episode, I feel like I've defended Carol so much, so many times, so often, and yet I just see her being treated with kindness and just giving back terribleness, and I'm like, Carol, I can't defend you anymore.
I get the defense against her act against the others, because like you can argue that the others took Helen from her with like their actions.
Sure.
But although I think it's still much more complex and much more nuanced than that, and she shouldn't be that terrible to them. But to Mr. Diabate, like just because she disagrees with him, to like threaten to run over his toes if he's not careful is just like the pettiness.
She's just so abrasive. She's so abrasive. She's just like when she first met the others, she's just shouting at them, yelling at them. And when she called, when Lakshmi called her, and like when she's making these videos, she's like, I know I'm one of you mad. Like she's just so like,
right.
God, Carol, just stop it. Stop it. I want to root for you, but you're making it difficult.
I do still very much root for her. And I believe I think her actions generally kind of make me like laugh versus like disliking her. I get it's Schadenfreude, right? Like I get pleasure in her pain and seeing the pain that she inflicts on others. Like I don't,
right.
I think that's kind of the viewing experience I have is with her. It's like Schadenfreude.
I mean, it was very much like in this episode when she like thought she had her smoking gun. She's like, I hate to use this term, but you better sit down for this. And like, just so like, I've got you. Let me check the HDMI. Oh, you got a TV in this barn. And then she's just like, wind out of the sails. And she's just oh, wait, you already know all of this. Everybody already knows all of this. Like they're all working on a plan to fix this. And yeah, it is funny to see her kind of fail where you're like, it's good, it's bad.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you so much for joining along with us.
Come back next week as we talk about Pluribus episode 7.
But until then, I'm Mark. This is Sterling.
Thanks.